Like, who the heck is Caitlin?
Do mess things up like that all the time, so.
Yeah.
Alexis coming.
Okay, everyone, welcome to the Town of Rochester Town Board January business meeting. It's January 8th, 2026. I'd like to call the meeting to order. If you could all stand for the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag
United
States of America,
the
and to the
Republic,
republic
for which it stands,
one nation,
under God,
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The roll call.
Councilwoman Alba is absent. Councilman Coleman,
here,
Councilwoman Smeesa. Here. Councilman Witt,
here.
Supervisor Now.
I'm here. So the first item on our agenda is the acceptance of the agenda. I'll make a motion that the board accepts the agenda as prepared by the supervisor with the following amendments. We will be tabling resolutions G, H, and I. We'll be adding 2 resolutions. One to set a public hearing for local law C of 2026. And one to authorize this signing of the Crosspoint contract. And just adding a discussion item about a staff member going full-time or going from 35 to 40 hours.
What was the local law C?
It's in front of you. Second, any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed, abstain, motion carries. Okay. So we have the December financial report. All the numbers for the year are tentative. So we have tonight, we'll be signing some bills and most of them are abstract 13 of 2025. So what that means is these are bills that we got in that are for 2025 bills that we don't receive or aren't prepared for payment until 2026. So there's we get bills that trickle in during the month of January, so I can't really close out the books. I mean, I can, and then I have to do an adjustment for those things. I uploaded for the board and the public a fiscal year 2025 fiscal year budget versus actual. The 2 things I want to say about that for general fund and highway fund is there's some revenue that isn't in those. And then there's some expenditures that are not in those. So we should be where we need to be with those. We did not take out a planned ban in general fund, and it looks like if we utilize the $300,000 of fund balance that we planned for, it's actually going to be a little bit less than that, but we'll have that break even because our revenue and our expenditures were both different from what we planned. So just wanted to say those are draft versions. Yes.
Did we get the franchise payment in?
Not yet.
And then the fact we were missing some of the chips, did that also not come in yet?
I don't think we're missing anything. I have to comb through that, but that there was chips did come in December.
Is that in that budget versus actuals, or you're not sure yet?
It's posted. I did the bank transfer when I got back. So in the highway fund, it's not posting until the 3rd. So I have to do a journal entry adjustment to get that to show up for 2025.
So that's why that was low.
Yeah. So for revenue in December, general fund had $428,674.16. Highway fund had $261,930.87. That I included the chips in that because it actually got deposited. It actually came in December. General fund expenditures $420,579.25. Highway Fund, $239,777.54. Street lighting, $888.11. So the supervisor's report, I wanted to just make a opening statement for the year. To begin by welcoming everyone to our first business meeting of 2026. As we start the new year, I want to take a moment to acknowledge the work of town staff, the board and committee members, and community volunteers, and my colleagues who are public officials who help keep the town of Rochester running day to day. Municipal government works best when there is consistency, cooperation, and respect for process and each other, and I appreciate the professionalism that makes that possible. In 2025, the town focused on strengthening internal operations, advancing long-term planning around housing and community preservation, and continuing investments in community spaces. The year was also marked by careful groundwork, public engagement, and an emphasis on transparency and fiscal responsibility, positioning the town for continued progress in 2026. In 2026, as we look towards setting our priorities, which we will be doing this month, the town board's focus on achieving our priorities will be on steady, responsible governance. That means continuing to strengthen our internal operations, ensuring transparency and compliance with state law, and supporting staff so they can do their work effectively and efficiently. It also means being thoughtful and deliberate as we move from planning to implementation on several long-term initiatives, including addressing housing and appropriate development, town infrastructure, and community engagement and community investment. We will continue to prioritize clear communication, orderly meetings, and respectful public engagement. Our goal is to make decisions that are well-informed, fiscally responsible, and aligned with the long-term interests of the town, and to do so in a way that is open, informed, and accessible to the public. I look forward to working with my colleagues on the board. All of you, I feel like we did we made a lot of progress in working together as a team. And I think that we'll see how our priorities discussion go, but I'm really looking forward to continuing to do this work with you in 2026.
Thanks.
Town clerk, tax collector report.
So for January, tax bills are out. They are due January 31st without any penalty. As of end of today, we have already collected $222,039.51. For town clerk, for the month of December, $39,627.11 was collected. The 2025 town clerk annual report was $684,742.35. All accounts have been reconciled and all monies have now been turned over to the supervisor for the 2025 year. A liquor license was filed for Accord Social. And that's all I have.
I did not receive a highway report other than the superintendent wanted me to acknowledge the how much weather we've been having and that the highway staff has been dealing with all of the hours and the work incredibly well. For department reports, the assessor's office is this is their busy time where people start coming in for exemption season, but also our assessor is going through combing through every single property, the property summaries that have been given by our firm that's doing the reval GAR. So he's going line by line to double check their work and make sure that everything is as accurate as can be. So we're at the last leg of the reval. I received a report from the constabulary. let's see. 3 neighbor-to-neighbor calls and quality of life complaints, 2 traffic complaints. 9 court proceedings remain open. And there have been, it looks like welfare checks calls for seniors as well. I don't have any other department reports. So our next item is the board and committee reports. I am mixing it up for 2026 and I have a new order. So starting off with the liaison reports, Kate with the Historic Preservation Committee.
Okay. So the HPC did not meet in the month of December. I did meet with Phil Christopher today. He is the gentleman that they are looking to have become chair.
Oh,
I
okay.
never talked to Deb, but they are hoping for Phil to become chair and her to become vice chair.
Okay,
I don't know if
we
that's.
could do that tonight.
Okay, and just want to remind everybody, both the January and February meeting for HPC will be held the 4th Monday due to the holidays. Martin Luther King Jr. and then President's Day. So they will be meeting the 4th Monday instead. And he did today suggest that if the board is looking for vacancies, how he got involved was by the meet and greet that we held
Oh.
that time with all the different departments.
Yeah.
And I thought that was like really impressive and would like to see the board do that again.
Okay, we should
So,
do that. I
yeah.
did that, but it was before I was the supervisor, I think.
Yeah. He just thought that was very effective and would like to see the board do that again.
That's great. Town Justice Court, Ollie.
We have received some confirmation that that we can use certain funds for some of the expenditures that the town justices have requested. And we're still working through it.
Yep, we ordered 2 of the big things. Charlotte, your trio.
We'll start with the housing thing, like both the other ones, they are working on trying to get their, kind of agenda and trajectory and itinerary together for the year for what they're gonna be working on this year. So if you guys have anything that you're looking for us to task or aim them with, shoot me a message, let me know, I'll be at their meeting next Wednesday. And then for elder care, the latest updates for the month of December, since the weather turned nasty, we've received a lot of calls from participants asking about road conditions. They were advised and asked if they needed emergency medications, we could assist. Several asked about warming centers located in town, and they provided the information for them. And then for the Senior Youth and Recreation Commission, Happy New Year from the Town of Rochester Recreation Department. Our first event of the 2026 year will be a community bus trip to Resorts World Casino in Monticello on January 30th from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Call the rec department for more details. You must be at least 21 years of age to attend. Save the date for Friday, February 13th. The rec department will be hosting a Valentine's spaghetti dinner this year from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. at the Harold Lippman Community Center. The public is invited to attend. The event is free and you must call the recreation department to sign up. Both basketball and after-school programs are going very well at the moment, as well as the weekly senior exercise classes. Check out the quarterly newsletter on the town's website for upcoming events and programming, and we're excited for the new year and looking forward to all that it brings for the recreation department. As a side note, I don't know if the department is aware of or yet that our playground was ordered.
Yes, they're-
Right before the end of the year. I figured that they were, I think I texted them, but I couldn't remember. And I actually got the call this morning and it will be shipped on February 2nd.
Great.
It will be here in time for the spaghetti dinner, but it will not be installed then.
Unless we have
Unless
crazy
there's
warm
a-
weather.
Unless a meteor strikes Buffalo and claws the ground down here, unlikely it will be installed before March, but I also made contact with that with our installer
Yeah.
to get on their schedule, and I have some details that I'll work with your
Okay.
office on for the other half of that, procurement. For this rest of this order.
Okay,
And that's all my people, right? Yeah, that's all.
yeah,
Folks.
Alexis is absent, Councilman Coleman.
Alright, so planning board, continue to sync periodically with Chairman Jones. They have their meeting on Monday. This coming Monday, the 12th. I think there are 2 public hearings. I don't know if one is a new one is a continuation. And they have 3 agenda items that they're dealing with, 3 applications. I do continue to hear concerns about access to legacy archives of some of the records they have, so they're eager to know when that can be resolved. Zoning Board of Appeals, so their meeting last month was canceled. And I think there too, it's good that we're putting out the call for applicants because we have spots available on the ZBA and it's gonna be. It's an important board. I think we had someone here earlier that's gonna have to talk to them, so. Good to get some people available for that. Ambulance improvement districts. So we have the contract on the agenda tonight. When I was serving in my interim capacity, I neglected to finalize that. So it is finalized now, so we can send that out. It has all the changes both from the committee and that the board wanted. So that is good to go, and no updates on the free exchange recycling. Continues to operate. Appreciate all the work the volunteers do there. I did get contacted by someone about the repair cafe. I don't have contact information, so I have to figure out how to get back in touch with that person. That's it.
Great. So now it's time for our public comment portion of the meeting. We are not doing participation via Zoom tonight. So this is the time that I'd like to invite anyone who's here with us to address the board.
Okay, I'll do it. Two things. I want to thank Kate for being very prompt in getting me my card this year as emergency management coordinator. Yes, I don't think I ever got one last year, but I also believe maybe Kate, you could actually backtrack. I think I'm coming up pretty close on 20 years of not having an emergency while yours truly has been your emergency management coordinator. And I did promise way back when Carl Chipman swore me in, or then it would have been Ronnie Summer, I guess. And I said, well, you will not have emergencies while I'm in charge. I will not permit them. So I've been keeping 100% track record. I wish the rest of the board, previous boards could say that. And it will continue under my tutelage. However, I do have a couple, and as far as that goes, this position, if we could get something out. This has come up a couple times this week, that the situation with the weather has been nothing short of hideous in the way we're getting literally hours of warming. And so our furry friends, the deer, which can cause tremendous amounts of problem on our roads, as if we don't have enough issues with it. I stopped at one of our local businesses, body shops, 7 vehicles in the last 48 hours have come in, all deer auto collisions. The deer come out when you put salt out, the deer come out when there's no other food, they will eat that salt. So if we can put out a general observance to the people driving on our roads, please be aware of them being out there at dusk and dawn, but now more so at any time of the year, because it's really tough. And these cars that I just looked at in the last few hours, they're doing quite a bit of damage. Cindy will tell you, she actually hit 2 together many years ago. And it's, it can be quite dangerous, you know? So if we can maybe get some out over our site to be aware that the deer are now feeding much more so on the sides of the roads. And that's my first comments for the year as far as emergency management stuff goes. My main thing that I wanted to bring it up tonight, and I think it's a perfect meeting to bring this up because I see we're scheduling for a public comment and so forth in regards to the senior citizen, which I think I'm in that category. To be held, I know you're coming up on to come up with a date on that. I am requesting in that regard, that you also have, this might take a little bit of a committee to put together. But this has been very confusing. Nothing to take away. Kate spent some time with me yesterday over our latest tax bills. For the town, general tax 39.7, I'm gonna round it to 40% tax increase, obviously saying a change from prior year. Last year's when I pulled back my 25 tax, 24 to 25 taxes, was 66%. When you do the math, that's over 100%, if we're still using usual math. But it's not, it amounted to, in one case, one of my properties, my house there. Approximately $200, I believe it was. So there's no way that it's 100%. This is my request, can we put together something to help anybody who would care to come? I'll definitely be there. To understand how the taxes and what these increases actually do mean. Because I'm still confused and it's nothing against Kate, because I think she did the best she could do. But it really should be explained what each one of the lines and what we're gonna see. Because you get really scared when you see a 40%, 60%. I didn't even know that last year was 66%. So if that could be done, I think that would go a long way trying to help to educate our people in the town. All right, thank you again. Thank you guys for serving. And hopefully we'll have a good new year once this snow goes away.
Thank you, Jay. So I'll close the public comment portion of the meeting, board member time.
I guess I do have something I want to bring up to the rest of the board's attention, since I was unaware of it until 5:30 yesterday, last night. That there was a public hearing held here for by the Ulster County IDA, this industrial development agency, for a pilot application for a business in our town, which is the Granary project. That I'm sure many are aware of. It's been through before the town board and before the planning board in the past couple of years. But news of this meeting came as a shock to myself. Not only as a resident, who I went luckily and was able to make it here in time to give comment as a resident, but as a member of the leadership body of this municipality, I'm very, very frustrated. And disappointed with how the IDA handled noticing the meeting. They also did not use the proper name of this building in the notice. Which, even though the address is correct to people in town who know it is the Harold Lippman Community Center, they were probably confused if it was here or not, or if the notice was real. And also it wasn't published in our town's newspaper. And when I inquired about that, separately from the actual public hearing, I was told that it was not legally required that it be published in our town's adopted paper. But according to the IDA's bylaws on the website and their adopted notice for that public hearing, it says that it has to be circulated in a newspaper that is circulated and reaches all the residents of this town. Which the reason we don't adopt the Daily Freeman is because of that. So I just find that not allowing, like, it's still open for written comment for a few more days, but. I personally believe as an executive body of this municipality that us not being invited to the conversation or even being specifically informed about it unless everyone else was besides myself because of how I voted on the original project and I was targeted against for that and excluded from being informed. I do think that we should collectively make a statement to the IDA expressing that the disappointment in not being made aware of not only a public hearing that they're hosting in our town, but on something that affects our tax levy in the future, potentially. And that we were to be potentially blindsided by that. And I just find that to be inappropriate as the power that be to try to make decisions over our taxing districts without inviting our opinion or our comment as a governing body over the taxes of this town. So, I just wanted to bring that up to everyone. Hopefully the rest of you guys didn't know like I did, but that is what I had to say.
To be completely honest, the IDA reached out to me to utilize the building. And when, the lady came to pick up the, key, she did say, I have to put the notice on your bulletin board. I said, go right ahead. I didn't even pay attention to it. So I knew there was a public hearing. I did not know what it was on. And it wasn't until I got a call yesterday when someone asked me who the applicant was that I went over and actually looked and saw who it was. I do feel like on our end, especially myself, it's a good learning curve. Because even though it's not our responsibility to make sure it gets out there, it's a good resource for us to, I mean, we could have put it on our town website.
Yeah.
Yes.
Honestly, I didn't even think about that at the time, and this was literally it was the 30th, so I was elbow deep in tax
Yeah, it was
bills
in the
that day,
middle of
did not
tax
pay
season.
any attention to what she did. So for me, myself, I feel like it's a good learning curve, so now moving forward, if they utilize our building, I will pay more attention to that. I could forward it to Aaron, we could forward it to the board, so I think collectively, I could even do better with it in the future.
They sent, yeah, so they send notice to the county executive, the school superintendent and me. It was mailed on December 23rd. It was in my mailbox on Tuesday and I didn't even look at it. So yesterday when I got a call for some issues with the building, that's when I found out about it. So I agree. They did send notice, and had I not been on vacation, I might have,
Certified?
no, just
It's supposed to
priority
be certified according to this also.
to me.
To you and to the county.
Maybe it was
executive,
certified.
And that might be why you guys didn't get it in time.
Maybe it
The
was-
School district got
It
there.
was,
because
maybe
I
it
had
was
presented it
certified,
to
but
you,
I'm not the one that certified it.
I signed on two that were to Aaron.
Oh,
so
I
it might have
see.
been certified.
Oh,
They ended up in my inbox on this past Tuesday.
Gotcha. I do wanna say though, Kate, I do not feel like this is on your office.
Mm.
When I specifically asked the IDA representative here to suggest the same thing, that we could have put it on our website and that we have a text alert system that we could have put it on, so to
Mhm.
please notify the supervisor's office next time so that like we can know. And have it posted so that the town residents get to know, so you get actual public engagement for the public hearing. And the answer was, well, I would have expected the town clerk to do that. And I'm sorry to have that be a response. And knowing that they came on the 30th of December in the middle of our clerk and tax collector getting all of our tax bills out. That just adds to more of the level of disappointment that I feel for this.
Yeah, and I think-
process, and I feel like it was not due process for our community.
I think that they should give more notice. And I think, cause that, like I'm saying, that was mailed on the 23rd, right?
That's
Like
when
that-
they officially gave notice, like
And
when they said.
I feel like-
They started. doing
And I also, the school superintendent made some comments I agree with, that like. I mean, I would like to see them weight the opinion of the taxing communities more than they do. I mean, I have personal opinions about pilots, but I think I will spare you from that at this moment. And I agree, and I think I think that it's a fine idea for us to send a letter that states those things, that like non-opinion of, like as a group, I think,
Yeah, I just
not an
mean
opinion
the
of
actual
it, but
scheduling
just
process
exactly.
and their actual public notifying process, I find extremely disappointing and not actually democratic for it. And I feel also we've had to republish public hearing notices from a typo in a name.
Yeah,
They put the wrong name of this building, and I understand our residents should know the name of our building, but this is, only the address was accurate. There could be more buildings behind this building for all the county knows that we meet in. That could actually mean it's the Quonset hut that no longer exists as the Town of Rochester Community Center. So I find it just really disheartening that that was how it was handled for our township, that it was scheduled the day before Christmas Eve, and that's when they mailed the notice on the busiest mailing time of the year between the holidays and tax bills that all go out that same week. So I find it really disheartening, and I would appreciate the board putting in a letter of,
yeah,
just reflecting on the fact that we were all blindsided, and even though, yes, our clerk should circulate notice to us on things, that was their clerk's responsibility to circulate notices to the
Well,
agencies.
But normally when somebody circulates something to the clerk, they give it to the clerk, and the clerk puts it on the board.
Right.
In this case, they just put it on the board.
Yes, but I'm saying
No,
they didn't put
No,
in their
you're right.
motion
You're
to
right.
designate our clerk to circulate notice to us.
Right.
They designated their clerk to circulate notice to us. So that was on their responsibility to make sure it was in our hands before that public hearing. I didn't even know any of the details and had to find the application myself today because they didn't even have copies of it
Yeah.
last night for the public to know what was in this application or what was said. And I, from an overview standpoint, think that the board should all make sure they read it. Because I was there for the entire review process from start to finish, and I think that there's things that the governing body that approved all these documents that they've submitted should see. And make sure that we are reading if we are going to be losing out on $1.9 million in taxes over a 15-year period.
yeah. I think the other thing I wanted to say is no one knew whose meeting this was. So a
Mhm.
lot of people thought that we, as a town
Right.
board, snuck in some public hearing to give someone a tax break. And that's the other reason why I wish we had had more notice. Like in a project, there was another pilot public hearing last year that I think I shared with someone that I also didn't, I found out about like the day before.
Or see,
Mhm.
I just found out about their application today, looking for the Accord one. So
And-
I find it very disheartening that that we aren't even forwarded paperwork on this, and they are making decisions about how much we get in our tax
Yeah,
budget.
so I'll just finish my thought,
Sorry,
which is
sorry.
that, I just feel like if we had more notice, we could have made it clear, because I was answering questions all day. Of people asking me why we are not communicative and why aren't we getting the word out about this, and I was like, well. It's not and then why didn't you put it on the YouTube page? I was like, oh, it's not our thing. We have no say actually over their scheduling, so I do, huh?
Or their decision.
Yeah,
No, or their decision, but I think as far as being able to be informed about the decision being made for our municipality, we were absolutely failed on by the IDA. At the very least, being informed, let alone being able to state our opinion on it as the municipality affected by it.
Well, hopefully based on even comments the superintendent made, maybe the IDA as a whole collectively can see maybe they can make improvements as well. There definitely was a lack of communication all around.
Yeah, and I'm not finger pointing at anyone except for the person who has a legally binding motion to circulate those notices.
Mhm.
Other than that, it's not. I don't think it's our clerk's fault for not looking at their bulletin board during tax season.
Right.
I don't think any of that is on you or your clerks for that, so myself personally, but great, thank you guys for wanting to work on that. I can since I've overread some of the language already, I can start the draft on bullet points for us to do a workshop meeting if you want.
I mean, I also have strong opinions about pilots.
I also very.
I don't like
opinions
them.
about women. Are we allowed, where's Mayor?
I don't like them.
You can say you don't like them, but
I-
we can't really do anything.
I don't like.
But can-
And it's not because we're losing 1.9 million, it's because we're shifting the burden of that 1.9
Correct.
million to the rest of the taxpayers.
Correct.
So there may be valid reasons why pilots make sense, but I agree with you that the community should have an opportunity to weigh in on that and determine if it's appropriate in that case. The public hearing is open for written comments, so we can still put it on the website if we want, just to say,
How long?
Till the 20th.
The 20th?
I heard two
Yeah.
things. I heard the 16th and then the 20th, so we should confirm.
I'll find it to confirm for you guys. I heard the 20th, and that's also what I wrote down at the meeting. It was right at the end of the video when they said the 20th, because I asked to speak again to make a request that they keep the public comment open,
Yeah.
at least for written word. But I personally would like to see them renotice the public hearing and allow for in-person comment again. Because I do feel like there was an unfair advantage. We also have, even though we have done our damnedest to make sure that broadband is everywhere in town. We have portions of the community that don't have access to internet at all times during all weathers. To be able to submit written comment.
Do you know where they are?
What? What you want?
So
Yeah,
The
I
unserved
told-
area, because they actually we'll talk about it later.
Yeah,
We'll talk about it
who
later.
needs the info, because depending on what they can do for our town, I'll give it to them.
I think it's on the agenda.
Just kidding, I'll give it to you guys later.
Any other topics from the board?
Yeah, I got from Kate the compilation of the comments related to speed and traffic issues, and we received comments from about 19 people over a period of time that are primarily Lucas Avenue, County Route 6, Boyce Mill and Dunn Farms, a number on Sherrytown Road near the corner of Sampsonville Road. And further in, Bridgeview Road near the former Veritas Villa. Queens Highway, the lower part, below. What's that first road on the left?
Hamilton.
Huh?
Hamilton.
No, past Hamilton.
Rochester City, or not Rochester City.
Mill.
No. Anyway, the first road on the left.
Oh, Crum.
Yes, exactly.
I'm
Right, they're all
Traffic
voiceable to
related
me.
to Whitfield Road. And also Depot, so. We'll look at those in greater detail. A lot of them are county roads, some portions of state roads, including 209 between Saunderskill and the bridge. So.
Did you say Kaiserreich on that list, Sally? Okay, thank you. I was like, does that count in County Road 6 or not? Because I remember that coming up with the Route 6 and.
Yeah.
Great, thank you both for the work on it.
And many of these are the same roads that have been consistently an issue as long as I've been in office. Many of these are the same. So it's an ongoing thing. It's nothing new. No one new in town that's creating that. It's.
Oh. Can I just ask a generalized question if you know it during town board time too? Do we know how far up that we maintenance and service trails end? Do we know how far?
I mean,
Up to the end.
I could not tell you, but it is in the,
It's in the road, the.
Yeah.
What,
I don't have it with me, but
yes, the mileage thing.
Yeah.
What you're talking about, okay, I just wanted to if anyone knew off the top of their head, because I drove through there the other day. For the first time in like 15 years and surprisingly made it, so, I was just curious how far up we actually serviced that road or not, because after. That last house where there used to be a 53 Jeep Willys on the left, you need a lifted truck. So I don't see why we're. Loud in the winter. Cause when I was there, it looked loud.
Mhm.
Partially, so I was just curious. But it's a really fun drive, if anyone has
Yeah.
a truck and wants to do it.
But,
Have you gone all the way through?
you know,
Oh, I have during Hurricane Sandy, and then I got stuck in that.
it must be very fun when I did that.
Councilman Coleman, did you have something you wanted to say? For during town board member time, you don't have to.
Yeah, I mean, I do want to comment. On something from the last meeting, I voted. Against the resolution to reauthorize the constabulary. And I want to make clear that we have a lot of really great employees that are helping support that, and they do a lot of great things. My concern is that I think there needs to be more awareness of some of the engagement that's happening there. And I think that's something that I would hope that we can fix moving forward. We're hearing about traffic complaints. We hear in the monthly report that there's traffic complaints. But I've never seen documentation of where those traffic complaints are. I know one of the roads, Dolly's list was in that list. We hear about neighbor engagements. I would like to know more about those neighbor engagements. What are the issues? Are these things that the town board should be addressing? Because right now, to me, it seems like there's a lack of information that's being provided. And so that's something I think we as a board need to address.
It's also a matter of who actually gets the phone calls. What sort of coverage is there for those?
Yep.
And what kind of phone docket registration it is?
And also whether or not it's being communicated to the building department on these short-term rental complaints. So I know that was a concern a few months ago, that wasn't even being relayed to that department. And that should really be the department that's handling that. And I agree with Jerry's request on the tax. bill.
Yes, I
I
too.
That would eliminate a lot of misinformation, especially around budget time. And even if you did a short tutorial, made a quick YouTube video to put on the website, or it could show it prior to a public hearing. Because people they hear 30% and they think their whole entire tax bill is gonna go up 30%, and that's what the whole town starts hearing. I think this is a good way to eliminate a lot of that scuttlebutt.
Yeah, and I think Supervisor Nowen did a good job with the kind of summary at the
Yeah.
front of the budget. It might be good to have that as a separate YouTube, maybe
Mhm.
just do a re-recording of that, because that was really helpful to kind of go over. Okay, some of the things that are raising that are cost of medical care, cost of retirement,
Yeah.
but there weren't a lot of major things. We didn't go buy
I
new
agree.
buildings or anything. So that increase was really stuff that's outside of the board's code. So. But yeah, the information is out there if you look at some of the budget reports, and was that included in the actual budget printout that's on the website?
Not the adopted one, I don't think.
Might be good to have that up there too, just so kind of. Because I thought that was really useful information.
I also really like Jerry's idea, and I think that it's a great opportunity to create one of those like third spaces. With an event for it.
Yeah.
Be able to like maybe in like September sometime when it's not like right before our budget season, when we aren't too crazy with the schedule. And like maybe the week before school starts, we could do it so the community center's empty, and like do it as like, like a 1 hour, like here's your budget, how to read your budget, or not your budget, your tax bill. Like meeting with coffee, tea and cookies. And just
Cookies.
let whoever wants to
We
come.
did that of the last reval, or a reval in like 2000. Or so.
And this might very well go hand in hand with the reval
Yeah.
information that comes out this year too.
Yeah, I was thinking that too, that like when Jerry had mentioned it, when he was speaking, that we should reach out to Joanne and to the assessor and the assessor's aide to see if they would be. Willing to like give us information or give us like any like data points, or one of them be here to answer any questions someone might have from their department.
I know we're planning on public engagement ahead of the publishing of the tentative role, yeah. So that'll be, earlier, but I think yes, I think that these are great things for us to.
It's also been inflamed a little bit by letters from the service that.
Yeah, yeah,
Challenges.
yes. Those have,
Oh,
I mean, I
The
did-
law
like
firm
the
letters that are out,
Huh?
the letters that law firms are sending out that represent, yeah. There are companies sending letters out to people about knowing that we've had a reeval and that you can hire them and they can cut this off with exemption, and I just think that's just businesses that are used to revals.
I get those.
Oh.
I've had a lot of calls.
I have not seen one of them.
I've had probably 3 or 4 calls about.
You should maybe post something on the town website that. Those advertise. I don't know, like buyer beware, so like that seems
Yeah.
right, like I don't want some little old woman who doesn't understand her, or like some senior person who doesn't understand their tax bill. To go and hire a lawyer because they send them a postcard.
Yeah.
Instead of going to the assessor.
Right.
Like maybe we just make that like more known on the web, like if you have questions about your bill, call your assessment, call the assessor's office first before a law firm. We get that on the radio, maybe, I don't know.
okay, so we've got an audit at the end of the meeting, so let's get through our agenda, so.
Sorry about the camera.
It is completely your fault.
I blame myself too.
Should I hold the remote at like that typical IT thing where?
Walk up to it.
No, it's, we
I'm
can.
not gonna-
All right, I'll make a motion that the town board accepts and approves the minutes of the December 11th, 2025 business meeting, the December 22nd, 2025 special meeting, and the December 23rd, 2025 workshop meeting.
Second.
Any discussion?
Didn't we have one left over from November to do?
No, it was October.
No, that was
They did.
October.
Well, we did that in-
Never mind, go on, yep,
All in favor? Aye. Opposed, abstained, motion carries. Did you have any donations?
There's nothing
Okay.
new since.
All right. So no donations. Next up, scheduling a public hearing. Did everyone have a chance to look at the local law A amending the tax exemption for senior citizens? So that, what I have in front of you is another one, and we'll talk about that in the resolutions, but it's the same chart. So for local law A, that's amending local law 2 of 2023. And it's to match the county, what the county just did. So the county just, their exemption is exactly this. So it's just easier if ours matches.
Is this like a 5,000 increase on the
Yes.
base one?
It's like 5,000. Yep.
I just wanna make sure I was remembering the last number right.
Yeah, I put the current law in the SharePoint as backup.
I had issues trying to get on SharePoint today, but I also was just in general having computer issues, so.
Okay. So. Yeah, it was the previous one capped out at 4,000, 45,400.
These numbers.
Oh, did I do something wrong?
No, it's like what happens if it's exactly 41,600.01.
Then it's 50%.
No, it's not. It says less than. And then the next one says O2 or more. So if it's exactly.
Oh, so it should
40
be 02 or less.
Yeah,
No, or less than.
less
But
than or equal to,
Or less than, oh.
less than or equal to.
Yeah, equal to. Second as amended?
Well, that's how the old one was, except this one just has cents for some reason.
But right now, the way it reads is that if my income is $41,600.01, I get no exemption. So I would change more than zero, but less than or equal to 41,600.01.
Should be 01, not 02, is what you're saying.
No, 01. And then the next line would be 41,600.2 or more than, or more, but less than or equal to.
No, I think you're right, it should be 0, it should be 40, the first one should be 01. Let me just make.
It's just.
No,
that-
it's the second one should be 01, and then it's accurate.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, the second one should be 01, and then we also need to add 2 zeros just for continuity at the end.
Yeah,
of
of that
that
one.
other one on that one.
This also what we're looking at right now, just so you know, is not local law A. So Ulster.
But Dolly's point still holds that.
Yes, Sally still at the right.
But even if you change
Easier to
it
solve.
to 1, I think it's still,
What?
This is exactly,
No, because.
No, you need
it's
to
a
put
one.
or equal to in
Right.
all the lines.
yeah. Because otherwise, if you hit the.
Otherwise you
number,
miss that number, the number in the right hand.
If you get exactly that amount.
If you hit exactly that amount of income. But since your tax filings delete cents, it doesn't matter.
I don't know why the county, I just copied the counties.
I mean, they did it right.
Right, and ours,
We also need to correct section 2.
Well,
So does the county apparently, because it says that they could not exceed 37.
Well, that's the-
But it's 50,000.
that's the 459 C. So this is also not the law that
Oh,
we're
I see.
looking at
Okay.
right now in the resolution, so.
Can we do are we able to table and pass the next meeting, or do we need to pass it?
I would like to schedule these, so if we could just,
Schedule.
Oh, that's right, we're just gonna.
Well, yeah, that's a law.
Yeah, we have to have it how it's worded. Well, we said.
but I'm just looking up the. If I.
Okay. All of the N ones should be 0.01, and then that solves it without words. Because they would be more but less than 42,600.01, and then it would be 42,601 or more but less than 01. That's how we update it. We just have ones at the end.
Yeah, that works.
And the first one, the 2 needs to be a 1. Right?
The 41,600.02
Yes,
should
yes,
be.
that should be a
zero.
1, and then
Yeah.
the other one at the end would be 0.01, then all of
Yeah,
those would
all the way
change.
down.
Well, then we can't schedule the public hearing, cause.
Is that a material change
You have to have the law in front of you,
in final version?
in the version that you're scheduling the public hearing on.
Let's schedule it like this, and then we can amend.
Yeah.
If we amend the language.
Amend it after the public hearing, right?
Yeah,
To
this
fix the
one-
number.
This one we could do, but this is not the one that, this is not A. This is C. So this one we can do, but A, I
That's
shared,
why she kept saying that's not the one.
yeah.
Yeah.
This is a one that Jeremy asked me if I could add this so that the exemption for disabled persons with limited income matches it. But it's the same,
Can we do what Dolly said and schedule it and then it's a difference
yes,
of
I
like
just said that we
10
could do
cents.
that.
Okay.
When do you want to schedule?
So I want to schedule it for our workshop meeting. So that would be,
Sorry, when?
January
January
22nd, 2026. We'll do that at 6:30 to start the meeting.
Second that motion.
What's the date, Aaron? I'm sorry.
January 22nd, 2026. Okay, so we have
Motion
a motion and a second. Any more discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstain, motion carries. So I will work on that, you guys, so that we have it in hand. More than set, if we're gonna adopt a version that's any different from what we have the public hearing on, you guys have to have it physically in hand 7 days before. the meeting.
So we have to come pick it up.
Yeah, so I'll let you know, yeah.
You don't want to certify mail-in?
And. Sorry, I was gonna talk about how that would cost $50. Well, what I was thinking is we'd have the public hearing on the 22nd. I don't want to adopt it necessarily on the 22nd, though I guess we.
Oh, gotcha. Well, so then we can have the final version on the 22nd.
Yeah, okay.
Instead of.
tried both.
Okay, so the next one, scheduling a public hearing on local law B of 2026. So I'll make a motion that the town board schedules a public hearing for local law B of 2026, rescinding local law 1 of 2011 to be held on January 22nd, 2026, immediately following the public hearing for local law A of 2026 at the Harold Lipton Community Center, and request the town clerk publish and post the required notice.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, abstained, motion carries. The next one, the home rule authority language for the resolution was in SharePoint, so I'll make a motion that the town board adopts the 2026 home rule authority resolution as presented and authorizes the supervisor to submit the necessarily, and then I'm gonna say home rule forms to the New York State Legislature.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed, abstain, motion carries. The next one, I'll make a motion that the town board authorizes the town supervisor to execute the consultant agreement with Tectonic Engineering Firm as presented.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed, abstained, motion carries. Our insurance broker said that she won't have all the numbers for me until tomorrow. But that means we can just do this at the workshop meeting, so we're tabling G. And then I did say we would table H, but let's go ahead and I'll make a motion to appoint Phil Christopher as chair of the Historic Preservation Commission and Deb Medenbach as vice chair. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed, abstained, motion carries. We also don't have the quote for the truck yet. So I wanted to schedule a public hearing for the one you guys were looking at. So shouldn't we just change everything to zeros?
We changed the 2 in the first one, the 2 cents to 1.
Oh, yeah, we should just change it all to zeros.
Yeah.
Cause it's the same, they're
On
all
the left.
changing to ones.
In the left column?
Yeah, in the left, change the left column to zeros, change the first one to 0, and then that's way easier to read than with these pennies.
Yeah. I should just change all here.
You're here, Aaron. Also, is that top 37,000 correct or no?
I think I'm gonna look, I didn't have time to look into that because that's citing New York State tax law. And I think that is the tax law. I don't know.
But if their income can't exceed $37,000, then they can't apply for any of these anyway.
No, it's
Or I guess only
saying
the first
if your income is higher than that, then we're giving you these exemptions.
Ah. Then shouldn't that their first one start at 37,000?
Well, we're saying that we're making it more generous. We're saying if you go, I don't know. I
Alright.
honestly, I
I'm
got.
fine, I know that
confused
I've never questioned these before,
by it. Alright, so I'll make a
we need?
motion that the town of Rochester Town Board schedules a public hearing for local law C of 2026. Amending a local law, amending local law 1 of 2023, amending chapter 128 taxation code of the town of Rochester. To be held on January 22nd, 2026, immediately following the public hearing for local law B of 2026. At the Harold Lipton Community Center, and request the town clerk circulate notice. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed, abstained, motion carries. We have. Every year, we do a contract with CrossPoint, which is, we have a contract for the physical phones that we use for our phone service. They are. The total contract. Between the town hall and the community center is $1,050. I spoke with Kathy, who is of CrossPoint. She's encouraging, we're supposed to be offboarding off of this type of phone, the ESI phone. And she really wants us to move towards cloud-based. So what she's saying, she's told me today, if we go ahead and sign the contract, just send her a first quarter payment. And then if we decide we want to upgrade or change our phone service, then she won't charge us for the full year. So, so I just wanted to have
Is there a explicit termination clause in the contract?
No, it's just a service maintenance agreement, basically.
And that's an annual fee.
Yeah, but she said just send her the quarter and,
Can we amend the contract?
wait, what should we say in the resolution? Let's say it in the resolution, I guess. So that we,
The sound supervisor is authorized to sign the contract with the amendment that, under the condition that the contract is amended or that the vendor agrees to accept a quarter end termination.
are you making that motion?
Yeah.
So, the contract for the total for the year 2026. Not to exceed $1,050. Do you have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, abstain, motion carries. Okay. Then, we need to amend our holidays that we adopted at the organizational meeting to include July 4th.
We missed that one.
It's on a Saturday.
Oh, we did
Oh.
Monday.
You give them Friday, so holidays on Saturdays, you get the Friday, holidays on Sundays, you get the Monday.
Unless you're
Generally.
actually working on the schedule.
Unless you're scheduled.
Fourth, when you get the fourth.
So how would that work with?
Right, the transfer station is on the fourth. So the way that it works is, because we don't have that policy, we make that in our schedule. So in our compensation and benefit manual, if a holiday falls on a day when a full-time employee is not scheduled to work, they get a floating holiday. An extra floating holiday to use. So if we make July 4th a holiday, then all full-time employees will get a floating holiday.
which
And
is-
the transfer station will be closed. And those staff members will get paid for that day.
So then employees are getting paid for July third, which is a holiday, which is the official holiday.
Is that the official holiday?
I think
Okay, I don't know. I'm sorry, I didn't even look at it. Stacy told me about it at the end of the day.
Well, it's not the official holiday, but it's up to the board, or it's up to the town whether they,
Let me look. What did we
well,
adopt?
federal holidays, I think July third.
right, but is it either we give them the holiday on the Friday or they get a floater? It's not both, right?
Right, should not be both.
Okay.
So
I
I
thought
would,
Aaron was
I'd
saying
give
policy.
them, I would give them the third,
All staff.
all staff the third. And then those staff who are normally scheduled to work on the fourth would get a floater.
Right, so the transfer station would be closed on the Friday, Friday the third. And then they
And
would
also-
work on, the transfer station would work on the fourth.
No.
I feel like-
Oh, it's transfer station.
Are we closing on the, I'm sorry, why are we closing on the third?
Well, that's traditionally, like if a holiday fell on a weekend, that's how they would do it. If it fell on a Saturday,
see.
you got the Friday, it fell on
Okay,
Sunday.
so I
you got
see
the
what
Monday.
Stacy was saying. Okay, so we made the third a holiday, but July 4th. The transfer station is open, so what do we wanna do about that? Should we make,
Well, no one's gonna
I
go
think
there
you're
on
better
4th of
off
July.
giving them the floater on the Friday and then give them the Saturday off, because I think most people are
Yeah.
gonna think they're off
Yeah.
that Saturday.
Just close the transfer station, give them a floater for the third, and then just close on the fourth.
so the whole town except for the transfer station will be open on the 3rd? Is that what we're saying?
Whole town
No.
will be closed.
Closed.
Their transfer station.
Transfer station would be open. The town, other offices.
That's what I just said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You said the whole,
But-
No, I said the whole town except for the transfer station will be closed on the 3rd.
right,
And then they'll be,
Mm.
All right, I wanna talk to staff.
and they get a floater.
I think I wanna talk to them about that, because we'd have to amend this more. We'd have to, cause that goes
in
against
fact,
our,
what would happen is otherwise the transfer station employees would get two holidays,
yeah,
equivalents.
which is, I think is fine, because they oftentimes don't get the holiday.
Open on Friday, leave the transfer station open, give them a holiday. A floater holiday for the day. And then give them the one for Saturday.
Or we open on Wednesday and, like, or we open an additional day that
We
week.
should open Sunday. We're gonna open an additional day. You should open Sunday for people to bring the trash to all of the properties. Cause everyone even, I even use the transfer station and I have pickup service after 4th of July.
All right, let's not do this, cause I wanna
No, I
talk to
think we can
them,
still
cause
feel-
they have a
yeah.
better idea of like. What is gonna work, and if they're all like, yeah, we'll work, but they maybe. Are expecting that they're gonna be closed, you know?
Yeah, I don't think it's fair to make them stay open if the rest of the offices are closed. But if I had to vote on another day for them to open, I would say so.
Okay.
I guess that could be their option Friday or before or after.
All right, so we got through resolutions, I will follow up.
I guess it'll be a very important thing though to figure out, because we're gonna be coming up on that in the next couple of years with a lot of holidays falling on.
Uh-huh.
us.
Yeah,
So.
I know. All right, so I just wanted to see if you guys had any priorities that you wanted to list off, on our first business meeting. I mean, I know there's ones that we're carrying over from last year, but I think it's good. It's good to hear from you guys.
Um. Well, I'm glad we took the step on the housing fund. I think, pushing that as quickly as possible through would be great. I remember the timing was tight in terms of being able to get that for referendum. We've talked a lot about having public forums or listening sessions on noise. I think it'd be worth having one on noise or specifically amplified sound. I think it might also be worthwhile looking at lighting, because I know there've been a lot of complaints about lighting that is intruding on other parcels. So I think we're gonna do it. Either we do two separate ones or we do it as one, or have multiple sessions that people can talk about both of those. I know one thing that comes up for the planning board is the conservation subdivision. Needing to do revisions to that, and I know our planner has a lot of ideas and has been kind of collecting those, but it seems like that's something that the planning board has been struggling with, just in terms of needing some of the language clarified. Comprehensive plan revisions. I think we're all aware that we want to get to that, but we've just had too much to do, but I think this might be a good time to do that. And then the last thing, I know when I was talking with Ulster County EMS, there's real concern about specifically ALS across the county. So I think it would be good if we could coordinate with other towns, with the county, try and figure out if there are things we can do, because some of it, I think, involves changes at the state level. So it would be good to kind of coordinate to make sure that we have a plan for how we're going to provide ALS to the county moving forward.
Quick question on the Community Preservation Fund. When does that tax actually?
It takes effect on February 1st, and the county clerk prepares our forms for us, yeah. And I've been going back and forth with them about it, so.
Is that filed transactions that are conveyed on February 4th or contract?
I can't remember.
I think it's 30 days from the filing of the law. Any contract executed 30 days after filing of the law.
Well, in the law, it takes effect February 1st. But I don't know if,
It had stipulations in the plan of exactly when for how the grandfather for that. It wasn't in the actual, it wasn't in local law H, but it was in local law I think. Whichever one, it was in the 170 something plan. It was in that for how it was implemented once the taxing district was formed. Or the transfer tax was formed. So I remember it being like that timetable was in in a section in that. I remember it serves me right, whenever a lot of papers and stuff.
okay. Any other priorities? No priorities?
None that haven't started last year.
Basically, you're pretty good motion on most of yours. I feel like you've already got some deals leaving on most of the projects and stuff, so. Some, a little bit, they might not have full traction yet, but a little bit, there might be spending some, but. I would like to see, for priorities for, myself, I do think that the, claiming home rule and doing the housing transfer tax, should be a priority of ours. I knew we didn't have the same makeup when it first came of the board, when it first was proposed to us, but the board had given like full support at that time in pursuing both the community preservation and the housing transfer tax. So since one is passed, I'd really like us to see to get the other on the ballot this year. as a goal to like ensure that it gets on this year if we can. And I'm happy to help and support in any way of like doing any scheduling and contacting that you need with, Senator Overback's office. So that's one. I also would like to, myself, for the housing committee, I would like to task them with, I guess not task them, but have a conversation with them about the next, Ulster County Housing Smarts Community Initiative to like check off item for us to tackle now that we've fully closed out our, we finally have closed out our consultation with HAC, and we did our, town-wide, I can't remember the exact verbiage of the checklist item, but we did that one, so
Right.
we have room to do another now. To kind of use what we got out of that one and keep that momentum going to maybe tackle potentially getting them to work on a housing plan this year for us to go hand in hand with the comprehensive plan that we're hoping to rewrite. That's also a priority of mine. I would like us to at least start the work on reviewing the comprehensive plan this year at some point. And I also, in the zoning code, I would like to take a look at and get some red lines back on STRs, ADUs, and manufactured housing parks. Affordable housing. And I would like to take a look at if we haven't, I can't remember right now, but if we have a chapter to do with rehabilitation or bonuses. If not, I would really like us to take a look at and potentially add a chapter. With some form of incentivizing rehabilitation of dilapidated and abandoned properties that have gone to the wayside. I know we have some things in there for like, I think a larger scale rehabilitation, but I don't think we have one for like if someone were to come in and like redo like a duplex or something, where it's on a smaller scale housing project, so I'd like to take a look at that. And I would also like to introduce, it won't be till probably closer to the summer months, and I would like to work on potentially with Councilwoman Alba and the ad committee, but I would like to propose a new chapter of subdivision myself for our zoning code that I'm hoping to be able to get completed by the end of the summer to bring to you guys before budget season. That would be a little more creative in the similar theme of how we have conservation subdivision set up, but in an agriculture way where we still preserve the prime farmland, but we allow subdivisions and build development on a certain percentage of the land. And the rest has to be conserved for and used for agricultural purposes. So I'm gonna hopefully workshop that some of those and get some ideas and feedback from the ag committee. But I would like to introduce a chapter that my working title is a homestead subdivision chapter, where it allows some of our larger, more generational farms that don't have other generations to leave their property to or to continue their farming, to make smaller, almost mini farms out of their larger farms to be able to sell. So I want to bring that to you guys, see what I can find and research if there's any other similar codes to kind of work off of in other townships at all. So those are zoning wise my priorities, and I would also, and I've started to work on this, and I'll upload it to SharePoint now that I fixed it on my computer. Update and red line of our employee handbook and procedures policies manual. To include, like, I know that we've slowly updated certain portions of it, like we change the holidays every year, and we've improved, we edited the. I'm blanking on the section that you updated last.
Yeah.
But we've kind of only done it like section by section as time has gone on. We haven't done like a full cover to cover, I think, review of it. So I've kind of started to slowly do a review of like literally a physical red line in my binder that Kate made me 5 years ago. With the handbook in there and our updated policies I've inserted. So I'm also happy to have another council person if anyone else wants to work on that at all with me, but I figured if I can do some base work on some of these projects to make it more of something for you guys to review and then all of us edit together instead of us all trying to work on one blank document to build from there, that it might be easier and more efficient for us. Also, I would like to work with Jessica to get the inventory of our trucks and our fleet from the highway, since we have yet to receive that. I'm happy to be the one to go and I work and do a lot of inventory management in my career, so I'm happy to go and do that with Jessica. If I know it's also the busy, crazy snow ice season, so I understand that Superintendent Fry or whoever else there might not have had time to do it as of yet. So I'm happy to extend the invitation with help.
We got something though, right?
Yeah.
We got portions of it, but like I still haven't, like the maintenance log isn't in there, so I'm happy to go in and just kind of solidify that list that we requested, because especially seeing that, like, I know we tabled it, but seeing another truck purchase on the agenda without like fully knowing where we're at and what year, like what
Yeah.
year, what make, how long we think it's gonna last on each truck itself. Gives me anxiety when trying to make these decisions and approve it, even though it's not our department, so. Yeah. And I would also like to make sure that your office gets as much support as it can from myself and like any other department in town that needs it, because I do see how much your office is. Burden is the wrong word, but I guess overwhelmed with and inundated with work requests, things like that. So if there's small projects like doing the playground or things like that, that I can take off of your lap to make your life easier, I am happy to do it while I'm just in school and not working through the spring.
Thank you, Charlotte. So I have my like internal goals for town functions. I want to continue to build off the momentum of our new Outlook slash suite of applications we have that allow collaborative work to happen. I think piggybacking on the employee handbook, the lawyer that we work with that focuses on labor we've talked about a few things. He thinks that we definitely need to go through the whole thing because there's some stuff that he thinks really should be updated. So it's long overdue. But then just having more ability to have everyone on staff on the same page. So we building out like a SharePoint page that has our policy manuals and our holidays and like a communication site. I'm excited about that. And using shared calendars. So that's a big one, is just like continuing to be efficient with operations. Everything you guys have said, the things that I'm gonna need that I really want us to do, but I need the board to approve our 10-year planning for both infrastructure and finances. And then additionally, the public engagement. I had kind of put this on my list already, but the idea of having more town sponsored or sanctioned meetings that bring all of our boards and commissions or representatives from all of our boards and commissions together, and then just having more forum type events. I think we know how to do those and the community really appreciates them. And then I also want to continue to work on regaining or continuing to build on like public trust in enforcement of our code and our laws. And I think there's a lot that you guys said that is also on this. So great. I want to we have a town board document SharePoint site that I'm using to organize meeting documents, and I wanna put our priorities somewhere in there so that we can like tie what we're doing in our meetings and see like an overall calendar of what we're doing. I think that would be helpful for everyone. So that's kind of what we're working towards there. Anything else on town board priorities before we move on to the next discussion item? Yes.
That's me, and I'll remember to, oh, trainings, I would like to see us get, a wider variety of trainings than just the required ones for our staff, like scheduled annually or semi-annually, like I'd love to see a, DEIFJ training course for
Mhm.
on town-wide training, I certain things like that, I'd like to see some, be professional, like top-down talks for our high risk in public interfacing offices, things like that, so.
Yeah.
With kind of in conjunction with the handbook thing, I'm happy to research some different training options that are available to us. For employees and also for our volunteers.
Yeah, our boards and commissions too.
Yes, and our boards and commissions, I think there's some like really great free ones that we could utilize for a lot of them, especially like the senior youth and recreation ones. I have a couple in mind to bring to the committee, so.
So our next agenda item is the virtual participation at public meetings. Guess I just wanted, we didn't decide on anything at our organizational meeting. Wanted to see how you guys are feeling about. A lot of towns don't do the Zoom participation anymore. We started doing it during COVID and kept it because we thought that it was good to encourage different forms of engagement. But given the events that happened last month, I just wanted to see if you guys,
Why did other towns cease doing it?
I assume the same reason we're questioning it, because there's been 5 other towns in Ulster County that this has happened to.
yeah, and also I would say, the one thing, just preparing for this meeting that I kind of didn't realize is there's a lot of management that goes involved in making sure the Zoom link on the agenda and public notices, like we've had to re-notice things because of that. Like there's just, it's not a big deal, but like I think also just I was starting to think like, okay, well, we could make people register, and then I was like, oh my gosh, who's gonna do this? Because the biggest vulnerability we have is publishing a link publicly. That's how this happens. That's how that type of happens, is because the link is public. So the way, the recommended way around that is that people have to register for a link, but then that's like,
Is that a link to speak or is that a link to observe?
because
Either.
the reason why we're publishing a link is for people to speak. Anyone can observe a meeting on YouTube. I think it's just, do we wanna keep allowing?
I think it's a great thing to allow people to speak however they do it, because it can be a schlep to get in here to make a public comment or to question. So I mean, I think it's a benefit to have it, but I think that there should be controls over who is allowed to speak, whether they text in while they're online and say, here's my name and please let me speak, as opposed to just admit.
I think that it's hard to make people sign up to speak online when we don't require people to sign up to speak at every meeting. I think that that's a little, like, we need to have a solid stance on that, like, if we're gonna have people register to speak, we should have them register to speak every time in whatever form they're speaking. You know, like, and I don't mean that they have to do for, if they're coming in person, they have to sign up beforehand. I mean, they can still, but we should have a sign up list for them to sign up on then. Here, if we're gonna make people sign their name to a list for Zoom access, so we should make them sign their name to
What's
a
wrong with
list to
that?
speak here. No, I'm not saying in a bad way, I'm just saying like, to make it cohesive, I think that we would have to do it, make a solid like I guess rework our public speaking, like our rules of engage, whatever it's called that we do.
Sign your name and you can.
Yeah.
Speak.
I agree that I want to keep it because I mean, there are places in town I could take 30 minutes to drive down here. That's not even accounting for bad weather. To me, I think the big risks in just admitting anyone is somebody coming up on video and doing something you don't want, or somebody posting GIFs or other stuff either into the chat or on their video. So I know Zoom has a lot of settings. We've enabled some of them so that you can't post GIFs in the chat. You can't turn your microphone on yourself. You can't turn your video on yourself. I think if we eliminate video and the ability to post those things, and then we only have the audio, those are important layers of control, because somebody may say something on there, but somebody could also come in here and say something. And the other issue that we had when that was going on, that Charlie and I both struggled with, was they implement code to actually make it hard to bounce them out. And there are things you can limit, which we've turned on so that that doesn't work anymore. So as soon as somebody starts doing anything, you can pop them out. So I would like to see if we just look at all the recommended settings to minimize those kinds of intrusions. I would like to see us keep it before we have to go to registration and then you have to get a code, which even there, I mean, are they going to contact Kate? Are they going to contact Erin?
We can automate it with like a third party app.
But then they'll just get they're still going to get a code.
Yeah.
And you're not going to be able to detect. So I think it's important from an access perspective, but I also do not want anything like that to happen ever again. So I think we should look at what controls we can put in place, and if we minimize it just to audio participation.
That's fine.
Like, yeah. With the audio.
I will say, devil's advocate about only having the audio is that we have no proof that who that person is for the record. Then if that in person, we see the person giving comment, it can't be someone playing a recording off camera of someone else speaking. I personally find it at this point to be a liability for us to take public comment via Zoom. I think that if we are going to do it, that at all, that there should be a registration process. But that being said, what department is going to take that on that isn't inundated with too much and that's understaffed for how much work they have now in our township? I don't think that that's possible. So I think the easiest way to do it is to just negate it. People are able to watch from YouTube. If someone has extreme circumstances, they live all the way up on Palentown Road and it's the middle of the winter and their car doesn't start in -30-degree weather and they write into the clerk, we can approve that and allow someone in a case-by-case basis who's written into the board to the clerk to request to make comment via Zoom. But I don't think that personally, after what happened, I myself am not okay at being risk of that happening again. I am happy that my husband and my child weren't watching from home as they do sometimes that night. I'm happy that my Jewish daughter especially was not watching for that to come up. Not even the fact that she's an infant and the rest of it, but just from a hateful and anti-Semitic standpoint, I'm not okay with what happened and I don't want to be at risk of that ever happening again. And I understand that I fully agree to the public's right to publicly engage us and to make comment, but they are always welcome to make written comment on anything at any time. And they're also welcome to come in person. And if they're not able to submit written comment through that doesn't have to be certified mail, through the clerk's office via email. But I think myself, I have not often felt unsafe at this table, and I felt extremely unsafe in my community as a Jewish woman that night. And I personally don't want to be at risk of that again myself, and I don't want anyone else who may hold this seat at some point to be at risk of that, or anyone, luckily no one was here watching from the public to see it either in a 65-inch view. So. That's where I stand on it, And yeah, I think it also opens us up for liability, because. Anyone who was watching that at this point could have done something and legally towards the town. Like, I felt assaulted leaving here after that, and I haven't been assaulted in a long time. Since actually being assaulted, so.
What about, I mean, one like. Wait, cause one thing what if we allow Zoom participation through registration for public hearings? Cause what I was thinking about public hearings is we notice those well in advance, so there's time to do the registration. Whereas like I post the agenda, like unless we're using the same link every time, which puts us at risk, I think. I would be like generating a new meeting link, and then there'd only be a few days for people to register. Whereas I think a lot of people would join because they just found out, like most of the
Yes,
people
I-
that come. We don't have a lot of participation for our meetings, like addressing the board through Zoom. Sometimes we do, but I think the public hearings, if it's a hot topic, we get a lot of participation through Zoom. So I wonder what you guys think about that.
Well, I mean, I think that we're clearly not gonna decide anything tonight, so I think that we could, so this is a private group, so I think the task force. Workshop,
As a board, you mean?
or, yeah,
Would be kind of nice though to decide on the public hearing portion, because we have 3 public
Yeah.
hearings coming up, and I have to post that in the next couple of days, so I think it would be good if.
And if we're not
we
gonna do
decided
it, we have
Keep
to,
it for the public hearing right now.
yeah, if we're not gonna do it for the public hearings, we need to pass a resolution, because we passed that initially
Mhm.
saying that that's our policy. Right
Yeah.
now. It's not our policy that anyway, it's our policy to allow participation through Zoom with public hearings.
I am fine with that, and I think that that alleviates a lot of the burden on whatever department is gonna take the registration for a public hearing. Those are very well noticed, and I do agree that gives you guys more time to be able to make the registration. The other thing is our meetings are the same exact week, same day, same weeks, every single month. So like if someone can't get here, our meeting schedule rarely changes unless a holiday falls on that Thursday, so like they have ample time to know that they can submit comment before our meeting, before they need to know when they're able to submit comment for. And what time our meetings would be scheduled and when to be able to change it, so I'm fine with it.
The other thing I can do, because I put on the agenda, we could put a link, an email link, so that we could put a thing on the agenda that's like, if you want to submit to make it more obvious
Yes,
that
yeah,
people
yeah.
could submit comment through an email too. So let's keep it for the public hearing, I guess,
I'm fine.
through registration, but we're not gonna have people participate in our next meeting in the town board member time through Zoom.
Correct.
So we won't let
Specifically for
anyone
public
in.
Hearing comment.
And I'll set it up as a registration link. So I was just looking up, huh?
for the public hearing.
Yeah, so for the public hearing, people can participate, but they have via Zoom, but we'll have to do like a cutoff of registering. So we'll put that, maybe we should make that resolution right now. Or I guess we didn't really, there's no rules about it. I was just thinking in the notice, we should put a cutoff for the registration for Zoom, because I won't be able to
Okay.
get those necessarily.
I was thinking 3:30 by like how we do the regular like the big
Submitting the
closeouts, yeah, by
Yeah.
3:30 the day before or something, or the day whatever works
Yeah.
for your office.
Yeah. I don't think we need to do a resolution for that because we
No.
didn't, okay. So moving on, I wanted to, well, are we ready to move on? I think we're ready to move on. I wanted to introduce a project to you guys that I've talked about. So Um. I don't know if you guys know about the saga of the codification on E-code. Where I wanted to have the new local laws, which are no longer, they're no longer new. Because we replaced chapters of code. I wanted to have those put up on E-code, but they like won't do it until we finish our codification project that was started in 2019 that didn't get finished. Because things get busy, but it's means that it's been like very outdated. So this document that was created in 2019 to basically E-code goes through all of your laws, they find discrepancies and typos, and then they prepare a local law for the board to fix things.
This
And then,
document is from 2019?
yes, and then when we pass that local law, they have like a perfect copies of all of our local laws, and that's what they work off to put it onto the E-code site. So, when we do the codification, we're gonna stick all the new laws that we've passed, it's 2019. They still have to like review all of those, but Mary Lou and I went through this PDF that I put in SharePoint. I don't even know if what I'm telling you guys makes sense, but basically we're trying to have like a technically perfect set of all of our code, and then they're gonna put that on our website, on the E-code site. And then moving forward, I'm gonna sign us up for a different plan that does this quarterly. So like, instead of us having to initiate it. Because that's how other towns have like really up-to-date E-code sites, and ours is like, I think it's a nightmare, like,
So if I understand what we're saying, is we need to go through our entire code with and prepare a fully compiled version that has all amendments.
Yes.
And changes.
and we're paying them to help us do that. But we initiated our contract with them to do this in 2019. And so we had this 100-page document that they're like, we need you to go through this. So Mary Lou and I went through everything in that document that had not changed.
Now, the document was what? The contract or the document?
It's in SharePoint.
80 page.
It's like, basically they use that document to prepare the local law for us. So it's a question and answer thing where, Mary Lou and I went through it and we identified everywhere where they needed to use like a different PDF. If you, Michael, I don't know, if you could go to the E-code site to kind of illustrate what I'm talking about, but right now, if you go to E-code, it says code, but
So
really
then you have a footnote.
you need to go to new laws
Right.
and explaining to people that you need to find our zoning code by going to the new law link and scrolling all the way to
Yeah.
the bottom and clicking on local law 6 of 2024. So we have that on the website, but no, it's okay. So they have to take all of that basically and compile it. And they haven't started that because they wanted us to go through this original document. So Mary Lou and I did, and I'm introducing this project for you guys because it's gonna be front and center. It's gonna be front and center for us this year, because we really need to get our code.
Let's do it.
So, Mary Lou is working on, so the document I put in is the working document that Mary Lou and I had, and it has all my notes in it. She's working on answering some legal questions. I don't think you guys are gonna have any opinions on those. What we have to do, though, the biggest thing for the board is our fee structure. So they pointed out in this document that we do not have a consistent way of talking about fines and fees. So at our next meeting, I'm gonna bring this to you guys and we're gonna solidify how we wanna do our fines and fees in our code.
Do fines have to be specified in the code, or can it be can we reference like a schedule as adopted by the town? By town resolution from time to time?
We,
That's some of
we
the-
can do that for, we can do
I'm
that
sorry,
for
what?
fees.
They recommend that.
We can do that for fees. I don't think we can do that for fines.
No, fines are set.
Yeah.
Fines are set, fees are.
Adjustable.
Adjustable.
Yeah, so basically, I'm gonna compile, I have like notes in that document, but I'm gonna pull all of that together and come up with like a proposal that we can workshop at the next meeting. And then Mary Lou will be at the next meeting also, and I think she'll share the progress that she's made on the items that I flagged for her. Okay, I just wanted to tell you guys about that so that you're prepared and also know how urgently I want us to do this and how important it is.
No, Aaron.
Email
Just make sure the
policy,
3 years worth gets uploaded.
email policy. I don't wanna put you on the spot, but do you wanna talk about this and if you have an opinion of
Yeah.
which one you wanna go with?
So, I submitted to the board 3 samples that I received from the state archives. I've been going through them like together and highlighting what sections, like some of the wording I like better in one sample more than the other. So would the board want me to put a policy together and distribute one policy to everybody for us to work on?
Yeah,
I'm
give us
totally
a
okay with that, if you're
Frankenstein.
willing to take that work
Okay.
on.
Yeah, I will do that. And I'll have that before the next meeting. Great. Job.
It's a lot of work on the records.
Yeah, it's like a whole nother job. I'm like, I read through this stuff, I'm like,
You gotta be like the administrator for it.
Well, you already made the retention tags, I saw.
I didn't make it, I didn't implement anything.
I don't even know what you just called Michael, so.
Stop.
I actually found these policies to be real eye-opening.
Yeah,
Of a lot of things that we should be doing and how by not having these things, how it can create issues that we're seeing at this
Yeah.
time.
the issues
So-
we're dealing with right now.
Yeah,
But a lot of, with a lot of the retention and that can be automated, so we can set up rules. And what I was just saying is, I'm teasing Michael a little bit, cause he has been, he messed with some things while he was the deputy supervisor. But he's made some, categories for the retention schedule that, so it'll be a policy that staff and officials have to like categorize your emails by a retention schedule, but you can set up an automation that'll do it automatically for certain emails.
I'm the youngest one here, and I don't know how to do any of that on an email, so Michael.
Yeah.
You'd be prepared to do it for a lot of our employees, cause. I'm a millennial, so I think like by genetics, I'm supposed to know how to do that, but I don't,
Yeah,
so.
there'll definitely be
overwhelming.
training.
that's how
Yeah.
I feel too. I find it to be very
I
overwhelming.
mean, I already sort my emails, so I'm like, wait, what do you mean? I have a new category, I just, nope. Also that it will do it for me is a new thing to my ears, so.
Yeah, I've been doing
Just
that
really
already for stuff and it's amazing, just getting it out of my inbox.
It's less about how you organize stuff and what it does in the background, like. When something is a record, it automatically gets archived. Kate or future clerks would have access to it. So it's, and then you just have to know, when you're sending an email, it will say, is this a record? And basically, it has to do with town board business or decisions or anything that it is.
Yeah, some things are like permanent, some things it's like 1, 2, there's like different
Yeah, there's
years.
Well, all
different
boards
tiers.
and supervisors is permanent.
Yeah.
Wait, so Michael, you're saying that the records are inside the computers?
Files. Exactly.
The little monkey.
Yes.
Okay. So thank you, Kate. Ambulance district contracts. Are we,
The other thing I wanted to say on this is we should think about it too in terms of. Other electronic media, because we have like Teams, chats and things like that, so we should see if there's guidance on stuff like that. For what needs to be maintained,
yeah,
because I didn't see any of that.
Oh.
Social media.
And, well, do we have a social media policy?
Not yet.
No.
Not yet.
The
Okay,
website policy.
It's coming.
okay. If there's nothing in our handbook either with the social media?
Not for,
Retaining records?
not for retaining
Just how
records,
they-
just like,
Okay.
you can't be on
Okay.
Facebook at work.
So I know I've read one before, but I'm thinking to myself, was that just a draft we looked at one time? But in one of these policies, it did talk about like Instagram messaging and your messaging in Teams, like all those things are records. So they are things that we need to. But I don't know, would that fall under email or would that fall under just records management? I guess,
Records
right?
management. I assume they're considered
Do
records.
people use? Aside from Teams messaging,
I don't know, to be honest. I have no idea what each department does. I just happened to read that today, one of the samples, and I said, oh, well, yeah, that makes sense. It's nothing I've ever used, so I don't know.
The Teams, mean?
Not
Oh.
Teams, but like this was like instant messaging.
Oh,
If
uh-huh.
anyone
like Facebook
communicates
Messenger.
that way,
Yeah,
you know?
well, when I was a banker, it was verboten,
Mm,
just because of that reason.
yeah,
I would say maybe instead of this being labeled as an email policy, maybe it's electronic records protection policy, so that. It's just like clear that it's anything computerized records, electronic records, so that we can get. Social media, Teams, whatever we want in there to make sure that it's covered under it, as more things come out, we can add them, you know?
okay. Do we have anything for ambulance district?
Yeah, you and I just need to talk, because that's finalized. You said we'll send it out.
Well, the board has to authorize that.
No, they agreed.
We did.
Oh, you told me you had to work on it.
Just accept all the,
Oh, I see, I see. So it doesn't need to be an agenda item?
No.
Okay. So my last thing is I added, let's see, our zoning coordinator was asking about going up to 40. We've authorized her to work up to 40, but if her schedule goes up to 40, then she's gonna be like a 40-hour-a-week employee. So I wanna, we could just do that right now.
I make a motion to. I make a motion that the town of Rochester Town Board. Authorize the zoning coordinator.
So,
position
Let's increase
to
the
increase
weekly
the
hours.
Weekly hours for the zoning coordinator position from 35 hours for up to 35 hours a week to 40 hours a week. And effective. Tomorrow,
Let's do effective
or
Monday.
effective Monday, I was just sitting, I was like, what day is it? I don't even know how to make that.
what's that one? 12?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Effective the 12th
Yeah.
and.
second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, motion carries. Okay, so we have an executive session now.
Wait, didn't you? When we have something else that we added.
No, we did those. Cross- the crossway.
Yeah, oh, yep, we did it, yep. I forgot we did the cross.
Okay.
Motion to.
Hang on.
Oh, oh, sorry.
Hey, do you remember if we did the resolution for the ambulance contract? I know it was on the agenda for discussion, but I can't.
I think
It
you all
would've been
agreed to
we all
move
agreed.
forward.
Did we do it as a
I
resolution?
don't remember if it was a resolution, but I do remember you moving forward.
Yeah,
I think we did, cause I think that I did that resolution on the fly also. I did that one and then the one for the playground.
I thought so.
Back to back, yeah, cause we did the playground and then you asked if any of us had any comments. You talked about the one thing that you made the change to in there, and
Mhm.
the Mary Lou, that you incorporated all the Mary Lou stuff, and we're like, no, just approve it. Would you,
Okay.
I remember us.
Should we do a resolution just in case it didn't?
I make a motion that the town of Rochester Town Board authorize the town supervisor to sign and execute contract or offer to accept the contract offer for
To offer the
to
contract.
offer the contract to the Marbletown First Aid Unit. And Grant, I just made sure I got that name right, and it's an Accord First Aid Squad.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, motion carries.
What happened that meeting?
So I'll make a motion that the
Oh,
town.
wait. I just want to amend that motion for the 2026 year. 2026 contract, correct? I just want to make sure the year was in there for the official.
So we have an amendment. Do I have a second on the amendment?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, motion carries. Okay, so I'll make a motion that the town of Rochester Town Board enters into executive session at 8:29 PM for the purposes of discussing matters that lead to the appointment of particular persons and for the discussion of the litigation of Brock versus Town of Rochester. Matters pertaining to the litigation.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye, opposed, abstained, motion carries.
And then we won't come back onto the stream, but we will audit the bills.
Michael, before you close the meeting, just for public information, I will be abstaining from one of the two topics. In the executive session.
You'll be recusing yourself?
Yeah, sorry, recusing myself. I know the public won't see that, but I just wanted to make sure it was part of the record.